Hello, we're back with another episode of Compact Claustrophobia. Real quick, I wanted to mention a quick update on the channel. You guys might have seen it recently, but I had decided to rebrand recently. Instead of the raccoon image that I was using before, I'm now going to fully commit to the rubber band ball because, of course, I love this guy and I want to rebrand to the rubber band ball image. That's the whole idea, right? So a couple weeks ago, me and my brother decided to do a sort of professional photo shoot for the rubber band ball. Completely excessive, very unnecessary, but it turned out really good, I think. And I was kind of impressed with his skills. I always knew he was pretty good with the camera work, but actually seeing it live, I was pretty impressed. I'm going to go ahead and leave his channel in the description. Feel free to check him out. He's got some other gaming content as well, and also some music performances. He plays drums. But feel free to check him out. He's got some cool stuff there. But yeah, let's say it's a new era of the Burning Lake channel. I am now going to fully commit to the rubber band ball bit, right? Because let's be honest, I know you guys are here for the rubber band ball and not actually the Minecraft content. I understand. I think I would be the same too, right? Anyway, so what happened in the last episode, we visited this other glitched small machine dimension, and we were able to conquer it in one day, which is pretty nice. I believe there's a world for each machine, but we're not going to check out another one for another couple episodes, right? Until I maybe feel like it, right? But the plan I wanted to do today was take a look at the fission controller, or the fission reactor. I want to take a look at this to get more power, right? Because right now our main source of power is these reactor boxes, the thermoelectric generators, and they're not bad, but they're not great. You know, we're getting to a point where I want to start processing a lot more materials and whatnot, and building more of these, I don't think it's going to cut it, so would like to get into the fission stuff. So the quest here tells us how to build a simple one, and I'm going to follow it. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a 3x3x3 multi-block. So I think first thing I want to do is craft another small compact machine. I don't think we have any space. I mean, I can probably cram them here, but let's just make another compact machine. So that's the first thing I'm going to take care of. You want to hear something funny? I was about to go into a crafting montage with the accordion bit and everything and the dialogue, but then I checked inside the machine and we did have a small compact machine in here already. I think this was from the quest reward from the glitched adventures. So it was this one, right? It was one of them. Yeah, so okay, so we had one already. I might as well still get into the dialogue that I wanted to talk about. The mic that I use is Elgato's Wave 3 mic, and it comes with their own software, and that's what I use to do all of the audio effects and whatnot. And they recently came out with an update, and with this update, it has a voice, what's it called? Voice focus, yeah. And the idea is that it's going to isolate my voice and hopefully reduce the sound of keyboard clicks and whatnot, because I've noticed that with my recordings is that there's a lot of background things. So if I type here, I think you can still hear it, but not as much as before, right? It's a work in progress. At some point, I'd like to switch to a more hardware mic and not rely too much on the software, but I'm working with what I got right now, and it's a work in progress again. So I'm curious to think if anyone has any suggestions or any advice I can do to maybe improve the quality, but I don't know. Kind of working on it still. I thought I'd mention it. Anyways, the fission reactor is going to take a good amount of resources. I can check here. We need a lot of tough alloy, a lot of graphite. And the graphite's not that tough to get. It's just manufacturing pulverized charcoal. We get that from the tree farm. Tough alloy, we're going to need a lot of this. Lithium we get from mining directly. Same thing with boron, but the steel. And this is something I didn't think about when I was building the this multi-block over here. Or this setup here, which one? This one, right? The pulverized charcoal to hop graphite. I don't have a way to collect the coal coke that's produced in those furnaces, right? So I think that's what I'm going to set up next. And I think I can do it with a... Where's my backpack? Did I put it in here? No, it's called satchel. Not stack. Satchel. Yes, this one. So I think I can do it with the wrench, and I'll show you what my idea is. So right now, this is how we produce our coal coke, right? So from the outside, we feed this pulverized charcoal. It turns into coal. And then we burn the coal to make coal coke. But all of that's getting sent into here to turn into to turn into hop graphite eventually, right? But I think if I just set this like that, these are all set to round robin. At least they should be. That way we get half of them to turn into hop graphite and the other half to be stored as coal coke. And that coal coke is going to be really helpful because that's one of our recipes. You can check the block of coal coke, this one, right? In the alloy furnace, and we use that block directly to get a block of steel. I can also use coal, but it's more efficient just to use the steel or the coke, so I'm just going to do that. I'm assuming this works. I guess we'll see. And it's also a major reason why I want to increase our power is to upgrade machines, which especially means our tree farm here, because you could use some work, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just start off with a couple of pulverized charcoal. I'll keep some on me to turn into graphite, actually, because I need some graphite. And I can do the graphite in this I don't have a manufactory. I guess I'm going to make a manufactory. Look how nice this storage system is. I can just craft things so quickly. There's no spin. Sir, I need you to get out of there. I need my pick. This coke furnace, we really only use it for a single coke, and after that we have the redstone furnaces in the machines to turn all of the coke or all of the coal into coke. But other than that, I don't think there's really much a need for this machine here. And I'll go ahead and break this guy too. I'm not using this anymore. And then we get some flux ducts. And I'll go ahead and put that guy up here. My parkour skills are a little bit rusty because it has been like, what, 2 weeks since I last played? I guess one of the promises that I want to make is that I'm going to be uploading more often. And I'm already considering the next playthrough or the next mod pack to play through, and that will be Meatball Craft. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. I've been seeing a lot of memes. I don't know if memes is the right word for it, but I've been seeing a lot of that. But I think it'd be pretty fun to play some other packs. And Meatball Craft is probably going to be one that's going to last a while, but honestly, I'm okay with that. Anyway, so fission controller. Let's start building the multi-block here. Going to need 2 of these nuclear furnaces. Let's go ahead and make a bunch of tough alloy first. I don't have a lot. How do I make this again? Is lithium and ferroboron. We have some ferroboron, but I need more boron. I just need more boron and steel. I have 2 different steels, sure. Okay, so it does work. So see how we're getting some coal coke in here? That's pretty nice. And you know what? Let's make another stash for this too. Not stash, a cache. Okay, so now we have coal coke and hop graphite being crafted. And let's get a item duct to put it up there. But yeah, I do want to upload more often because I do want to finish the playthrough and move on to Meatball Craft. I've been kind of itching on playing other mod packs. It's been a while, all right? So I'll try to upload a little more often. I don't know how often, maybe twice a week, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to need a good amount of boron. It's a good way for me to get this. I may have to do like a rabbit hole because there's 2 ways. We can just use a steel pick or hard carbon. Hard carbon might be really good. And this might be a good use for our like hop graphite. I think I'm going to make some hard carbon and throw like I'll just throw 1 pick in here and we can use that. So I need 3 ingots. That means 3 nuggets and some graphite. I don't have any graphite. That was pulverized charcoal. I'm just going to turn this all into graphite up here. Like that, and then I have 1 diamond nugget. I need more, and that's going to be hop graphite. It has a whole bunch right here. I'll go ahead and cook it. And then TNT. I need gunpowder. Gunpowder is, we can just craft a whole bunch of it, actually. Sweet. I'll just use 1 for now, and I would like a flint and steel. I'm just going to assume that's going to give us enough. There's our little room is up here. We put that down, and then we get out of here, and hopefully we get some diamond nuggets out of that. We got 7, which is pretty good, actually. So we need 3 for a pick, and it's going to be some diamond nuggets, and what else? Graphite dust, which I'm making that right now, in an alloy furnace. And there we go. Another thing to invest in probably are more speed upgrades. These are not too expensive, but they're going to consume a lot of our power. And honestly, I'm okay with that because this isn't running all the time. That should be fine. All right, and then we can make a hard carbon pick. So I'll just leave this in here. It's this one, right? Yeah. I'll just leave that in there, and that was a quest too. I'll leave that in there, and over time, it's going to give us some boron and other materials. So anyways, we needed the tough alloy, which is ferroboron and lithium. We have a bunch of lithium left over. Do you work with you work with the dust? I don't need to cook you. I might as well just use the ingot form first. Another material we're going to need a bunch of is lead. How much lead do I have? I don't know if that's enough, but it probably is. What's a pickaxe I can use to get lead again? It's not stone. Tin. I can just use a tin. How much tin ingots do I have? Plenty. I'll throw a bunch of them in there. That's fine. I have a lot of tin. So let's get some planks going for sticks. I need more planks. Thank you. Let's just do 4. So this over time will give us a good amount of lead. And I don't think I actually have a cache for you. No. So let's make another cache. All right, and there we go. This cache wall is getting a little ridiculous, but at some point I will cram this into another box and have like a designated cache storage. Or maybe what I'll do is set up more drives for this stuff, but there's no way we'd be able to fit this many items, right? We can only fit 2,000 items, and like redstone itself is almost 6,000. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to leave the caches there for now. So we have a decent amount of tough alloy. Let's stick with that. Graphite is being made up here. Then lead plates. Let's try to make 8 to start with. That's too much, but that's fine. I'm going to use them anyways. 1. And then 2. That is our 2 nuclear furnaces. Using uranium and thorium ingots and dust is full. I'd rather not. I'm here to make this. So this one is going to be magnesium diboride and tough alloy, which I don't have this other stuff. This looks like my Minecraft character, my skin, right? Yeah, close enough. So magnesium diboride is going to be boron and magnesium. There's some magnesium here. Boron we're getting, I think it's right here. Yeah, we're getting some now. And that would be in another alloy furnace. There we go. I'll keep some on me. 1, 2, and there we go. Machine chassis is just that. Advanced alloy, advanced plating would be a little more pricey. We need some more tough alloy. This stuff is getting quite expensive. So that should be enough for another one of these advanced platings. Oh, we're really crafting now. And that is our controller. That's great and all, but we can't do anything without the rest of the blocks. I'm going to follow the quest, and then we'll go from there. So it really is just a bunch of lead and tough alloy. And then some glass, tough alloy, more platings. It's a lot of tough alloy. So I'm going to get to crafting all of this. I won't make you guys watch it because it is kind of repetitive. So I'll be right back once I have everything going. All right, that's everything. It literally wasn't even that bad. I didn't even notice, but a lot of the recipes here crafted more than one, so it was not too expensive. Okay, so there's baby's first fission reactor, right? I know I said earlier that I want to like fill in the edges, but I'm just gonna build it first, and then we'll see what I need to fill in. So I'm pretty sure. Check it out. I ended up building this really small fission reactor. It's probably the smallest one I've ever built. I don't know how good it is, but I'm curious. I'll obviously make this a little bigger once I get more resources, but I'm just curious how good this is going to be at the base, at the smallest size. I don't even know if you can probably go even smaller, but I'm assuming that we'd need that cooler. But anyways, the quest did give us a fission reactor port, so I'm going to put it right there. We can actually access our power and the items through this. The Quest book also mentions this refined nuclear fuel, I can't say that correctly, LEU-235. So it looks like we're going to need an isotope separator for this. So I can craft that relatively quickly, I think. So we may have an issue here. I'm trying to craft this. I'm trying to craft the isotope separator, right? And it needs this basic plating, which needs graphite, which of course needs pulverized charcoal. And we're getting pulverized charcoal here, but we don't really have a lot of it. And I was staring at the tree farm trying to debug it, what could be the problem here. And check it out. It mines it just fine, but look how it's not mining those blocks. You know, do you know why? So I took a look back here, and there's no boron spaxa hole in them. And then this one's about to break, and then this one is okay, right? So I guess a good thing would be for me to just go ahead and get more of them. And I think what's happening is that these blocks, or especially these two, have to also break leaves, which I'm assuming it hurts the tool's durability. So let me go ahead and make a couple of those spaxel holes. I think I'll make, what was it, 4 of them? I think it's 4, right? Let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So let's go ahead and make 4 of those spaxel holes. It shouldn't be too much a problem because we did set up picks. We got a lot of boron with us now. It should be no problem. That's a lot of tools that just 4 of these need. And that should be enough for 4 of these guys. Yep. Assuming I did my math correctly, right? So let's go here and go ahead and replace them. So at some point, I do want to set up like a repairer, and you can repair them using the, what was it called? The energy infuser? Energetic infuser, this guy, right? But we would need a way to get essence of knowledge, which is XP, right? It basically works like mending, but we don't really have a good way of getting XP, right? That's okay. So we'll just leave it like that for now. And these two I'll just keep in the storage for now. That should help us a little bit with our pulverized charcoal situation, which this should be enough for just the isotope separator. No, it needs graphite. Duh. 1, 2 crafts, just 4 of those, and we have an isotope separator. And of course we'll do a flux duct up there, more power. And we're running out of space in this in this one room here. Can I jump and put it? I probably can. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Go up a little bit. Yeah. See that? Professional. Okay. And the quest did tell us to put uranium grit. We have a good amount into here. You're slow as heck. Give me more speed upgrades. It might be time for me to invest in speed upgrades as well. I'll make a whole bunch of them. 27, yes. I don't think I should put them all in there because it's going to consume a ridiculous amount of power. Yeah, we can't do that. How about 8? 8, and let's invest in some energy upgrades as well. Anyway, so this is going to make us these. Does this hurt me? Do I have to wear like a hazmat suit? I don't actually know. Ugh. That doesn't look very fun to craft. So you know what? I'm going to rely on the fact that we have a helmet. Just the helmet. I mean, I'm not dying, right? So that's got to be something. It's got to be a good thing. So we turn this into uranium-235 and then turn that into the fuels. So what I want to see is how good is this 1x1? 120 RF per tick. It's not very good. You need a lever, don't you, to actually work? I guess I'll put you right there. All right, it's on. I mean, you're getting power. So this is where I want to start like making more. 120 is not bad. It's still less than our power box. I think our power box is doing like 240 each, I think. But this is a very basic reactor, right? Of course, you want to make it bigger. And we can by adding more of those, what do you call it? Those reactor cells. So I think I'm going to invest in that. We should be able to fit a bigger reactor. And so we have enough space to do like one more block and then a couple blocks up top. So let's invest in the resources to do that. So I went a little silly with it. I was able to cram a 3x3x3 reactor inside the normal or the small compact machine. As you can see, it's very cramped. I made sure that the entrance is unblocked. I don't think the lever is going to count because it's not a full block. We got the fission controller right here. I noticed that it has to face away because if it was facing my direction, it wouldn't actually count as a full multi-block. So I was able to just put it down like this. And then I got the reactor port right here. And you'll notice this reactor door is wide open. This is probably some kind of safety violations, but I don't mind because it does say it's a full reactor. So I don't think this actually does anything, but I'm curious about it. But if it works, then that means we can like freely access the reactor, right? So next step is to start filling this up with reactor cells and redstone coolers. So I did check this quest here, and it does take me to this tool that I can use to simulate a reactor. And with that, it makes it easier to figure out what kind of blocks I need to fully fill up this 3-cube reactor. So let's get the things ready. All right, check it out. We're able to fill it up with reactor cells and redstone coolers. So I used the reactor planner program to figure out how much stuff I would need. I figured that I could use 12 redstone coolers and 15 fuel cells for a 3x3x3 reactor. And the tool says that it'll generate 2100 RF per tick, and it is considered safe because we have enough cooling so that the reactor doesn't melt down, which we don't want. And I'm also going to confirm here if leaving the reactor door like this makes the multi-block safe. We'll see. Did I put the wrong fuel? I don't know how I feel about this. Yeah, so it's a good thing I didn't turn this on yet. So what this interface is telling me is that LEU 235 fuel is going to give us 4200 RF per tick, which is pretty good, but it does generate 1920 heat per tick. From what I understand of nuclear craft, you want this number to be either 0 or below 0 so that your reactor doesn't melt down. Like, I can turn this on just fine, but it will heat up like after a while. And if it goes all the way up, that's a big no-no. That's how your reactor explodes, right? So I can still use this fuel to generate some power, but if I want this running nonstop, we have to have the cooling rate greater or equal to the heat generation. So where I made the mistake is if I check out the reactor planner here, there's a little field here that I completely ignored. You see here how it says TBU. So this reactor that I built is assuming TBU fuel, which is thorium, and we don't really have a good source of thorium. I think the fuel that I want to stick with is LEU 235. And these are the numbers that we're seeing, right? Energy generation is 4200 and heat difference is 1920, which is what we see on the screen. So clearly I didn't really plan for it correctly, but that's okay. You got to learn somehow, right? What's the engineering term for this? It is operator error. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it like this for now, but keeping in mind that I'm not going to leave this running forever because we know once it goes all the way up, that is a meltdown and we don't want that. But at least we did figure out that we can just leave the door open like that and it's completely okay, which I don't understand it, but you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the other thing I wanted to do was actually move it. I'm going to put it on this side. And there's a reason for that because our main battery bank is right here. All right, put that there, and then we're going to need some tunnels. We have exactly one tunnel, which is pretty good, and then a flux duct. I may want to upgrade it at some point because there's a lot of power that this thing is producing. And again, it produces up to 4200, right? And the basic flux duct can only transfer 1000. For now, it's completely okay, I think. I mean, I can even upgrade it like that, but I'm just going to use what I have right now because this isn't running 24/7, right? I can turn on the reactor for now only when we're low on power. And that's how I'm going to treat this for now. So this has to be on the east side. So I can just put that up there. And then let's get my ladders. I had ladders in here and I took them out for pretty pictures. But now that I am showing you guys, let's get some ladders here. Yeah, like that. I can put the power like that and then set this on east. Like that. Okay. And there we go. So now this is taking power. So now we have a much better source of power. We're not really hurting on power, but this is only when we're actually going to start updating machines, right? And upgrading them, for example, adding more energy upgrades and speed upgrades. But that's something we could take a look at for next episode. I'm going to have to cut it a little bit early because it's a little late in the day and I got to get some sleep. But the good thing is that we did achieve what we wanted to this episode, which is a relatively simple fission reactor. It's not complete. I will take a look at the actual planning and assume a better fuel because right now it's assuming TBU fuel and that's not what we're using. But for the most part, it does work pretty well. And again, I can always just, double check here and then turn it on for like 5 seconds or something and then turn it back off, right? Maybe even have a button and a timer here so that it only triggers once or something. I don't know. There's a lot of things to do, but obviously we're not going to run this 24/7 because that is asking for an explosion. And look at that. It's even draining our power already, which is pretty nice. And so for the following episodes, I do want to continue into the machine upgradings, right? Especially our tree farm, because as we saw earlier, it was struggling a little bit. And okay, look at that. Just upgrading those spaxel holes really got our tree farm working. Look at this. And then with this amount of hop graphite, we can even get closer to a lot more automation, right? So that's probably something I'll also look at next time. Because, of course, a lot of the refined storage stuff needs the diamond nuggets, right? And if we get a good supply of hop graphite, then we get a good supply of diamond nuggets, which is great. For now, I'm going to call it a night here. I appreciate your time and support. I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm working on a new end screen for YouTube. What do you guys think of it? It's a work in progress.